On my last trip, I noticed something as I was unpacking. There were a handful of items that I reached for over and over again, and a bunch of things that basically never left the bottom of my bag. So in this video, I want to talk through the travel essentials and everyday carry that actually earn their spot on that trip. These aren't theoretical items from a Pinterest packing list. These are things that I actually brought, actually used, and would happily pack again on any trip. Yes, this trip happened to be Thailand, hot, humid, lots of walking, travel days, but you can easily adapt this list to whatever it is that you're planning, whether that's a quick city getaway, work travel, or going to visit family. All right, let's get into it, no particular order. Let's start with how I actually carried everything. My main bag for this trip was the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. I used it as my personal item on the plane and mainly between travel days, not as my everyday carry bag. What I love about this bag is the sleek design, the compartments, how much you can fit, and how easily you can keep everything organized. I can fit my headphones, my water bottle, my iPad mini, my tech kit, and even have some space for snacks and a light jacket. The side access is great for when you're in a busy airport or in a crowded space and you don't want to unzip the whole thing. And these internal dividers really keep everything organized and feel like you're not putting everything into a black hole. For smaller days, markets, temples, or just exploring the city, I lived out of this thing. This is the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag. I wore it crossbody, and this is where all the small essentials live. Hand sanitizer, a power bank, my room key, some cash, lip balm, a couple emergency meds. In Thailand, this was perfect for night markets in Bangkok and walking around Chiang Mai. But honestly, for any trip, I like having one small bag where all of my don't lose this items live. It keeps my pockets empty and gives me a bit of extra peace of mind around pickpockets. Next up is hydration. For this trip, I brought the Lark water bottle. The Lark has a built-in UVC light that helps keep the bottle cleaner between washes. Plus, I just liked having a dedicated water bottle that I trusted. I'm not saying that you need this exact bottle. A simple, reusable bottle works just fine. But having some kind of bottle that you'll actually carry around makes staying hydrated a lot easier, whether you're in Southeast Asia heat or just walking around a cold city all day. For toiletries and health stuff, I ended up with a 2-bag system that I actually really liked and will probably copy on future trips. First, this pop-off leather toiletry bag was my health and meds kit. In here I kept things like electrolyte packets, travel Metamucil, basically keep my body on track type of things while I'm traveling. Basically anything like health, digestion, and keeping on track while my body was adjusting to new food, new schedules, and long travel days. The second bag was the Air Travel Kit 2, which I used mainly as my grooming kit. In here I kept everyday essentials like shampoo, toothbrush, razor, deodorant, and some small travel bottles that had my shampoo and body wash. Instead of just throwing stuff loose into my luggage, I like having one compact bag that I could just reach for if I wasn't feeling great, or I could just toss it in my backpack if I knew I was going to be walking around the city for a long day. If you don't want 2 separate bags, you can absolutely combine them into one. But for me, having one dedicated bag for grooming and one for health just helped keep things organized in my brain. One for looking normal and one for feeling normal. Let's talk tech and power because none of this works if your phone dies halfway through the day. The first piece that ties everything together is the Bellroy Tech Kit. It's basically the brain of the system and where all my charging stuff lives. In here I keep things like my charger, my USB-C and lightning cables, and a few small adapters. Anytime I needed something tech related, I just reached into this bag. For a different trip, the contents might change, but I like having one dedicated tech pouch where all of my stuff lives. This Anchor charger replaced having to bring a dedicated brick for all of my devices. It has 2 USB-C ports, a USB port, so at night when I was at the hotel, I could just plug it into the wall and charge all of my devices like my iPhone, my iPad mini, my AirPods, my Apple Watch, while reducing a ton of clutter. The Anchor power core lived inside of my Peak Design bag or my Lululemon Crossbody bag during the day. In Thailand, it meant that I could run maps, take photos, and use data without worrying my iPhone battery dying. It's small enough so that you can actually carry, but big enough for you to top up your phone a couple of times. Next up is travel comfort. Getting to Thailand from home is not a quick hop. So anything that can make the long flight a little bit bearable is worth calling out. My combo for the trip was these Bose Quiet Comfort headphones and this travel pillow. I know a lot of people really prefer the in-ear AirPods, but having these over-the-ear noise canceling headphones on a long flight is unmatched. The QCs cut down on engine noise, crying babies, and the general hum of the cabin. I could listen to music, movies, or just put on white noise and zone out. I actually really love listening to a Spotify instrumental playlist while reading on the plane with these headphones on. Paired with a simple travel pillow, it made it a lot easier to grab a few hours of sleep during the trip, especially on those overnight legs. It doesn't have to be this exact pillow or these exact headphones, but having some kind of neck support and noise cancellation makes a huge difference on those long flights, trains, and buses. For screens and entertainment, I brought an iPad mini. This was clutch for watching downloaded movies on the plane, reading, and just doing some light web browsing. It's big enough so that watching something doesn't feel cramped, but small enough so that it doesn't take up a lot of space in your bag. In Thailand, I used my phone during the day for things like navigation and taking pictures, and at night I would switch to the iPad mini to give my eyes a break from staring at the small screen. If you're more of a book person, a Kindle might fill this role instead. I actually brought both. I use the iPad mini on planes and in my room, and I take my Kindle to the beach and the pool so I don't risk messing up my iPad. The bigger point is I like having one dedicated downtime device that is not my iPhone. I'm not going to do a full wardrobe breakdown, but there were a couple pieces of clothing that really pulled their weight on this trip, and I would bring along to future destinations as well. First up are these hiking pants that I got from Amazon. I'm not really a hiking pants kind of guy. I'm more of a Lululemon's jogger, but I like these so much that I had to mention them. I wore them on excursions, exploring the city, both during the day and at night. They're super lightweight, breathable, water resistant, and they have a ton of pockets with zippers. The zippers are actually really nice when you're carrying around valuables like cash and your wallet, so you're not worried about things slipping out. They were also really affordable, which made this an easy yes for me. Maybe I'm just getting older, but I'm really starting to appreciate pants that are both this comfortable and this practical. Then there's this Uniqlo Airism tee. I know everybody on the internet is talking about this thing, and there's a reason for it. In Thailand, the breathable fabric really helped with the heat and the humidity. But even outside of a tropical climate, I really like these as a base layer because they dry fast and they don't feel heavy or cling to your body. A couple other notable items that I won't go into too much detail on that I really love are the Lululemon joggers, which I wore on travel days, and some shorts from Abercrombie that were great for casual days and walking around the city. The specific brands aren't as important as the idea. Pick a small rotation of items that you actually enjoy wearing and match the weather and the activities that you'll be doing. One thing I didn't expect to appreciate as much as I did was my Apple Watch. The biggest win for travel is the turn-by-turn directions. When walking around a new city, it's nice to be able to look down and feel a tap on your wrist instead of having to hold your phone out in front of you or stopping on a busy street to check for directions. It actually also helped keep me a little bit more aware of how much I was walking each day in my activity. If you're already in the Apple ecosystem, it's a really nice upgrade to your travel experience. Not an essential, but surprisingly really useful. And then there's the small stuff that lives in your pockets, but surprisingly makes a big difference day to day. I carried a slim wallet in my pocket that I actually got as a gift. Inside, I just kept the basics, like a little bit of cash, my room key, and a credit card with no foreign transaction fees. All of my other cards and documents stayed back at the hotel. I really like this setup because if my wallet did get lost or stolen, I wasn't losing my entire financial life. It's really simple, it's low profile, and it's easy to move between my bag and my pockets. So those are my current travel essentials, the stuff that earned their spot on my list and I would happily take with me on any future trip, whether that's going as far as Southeast Asia or just a quick weekend getaway. Hopefully this gave you some ideas that you can steal and tweak for your setup. You don't need these exact brands, but the categories like a solid bag, a small sling, a tech pouch, and a few pieces of clothing that you really love can really help go a long way. If you have any items that quietly make your trips better, I'd love to hear about them. Drop them in the comments so other people can get some ideas too. And if you want some more videos around travel, EDC, tech, and lifestyle, please feel free to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.